It's high gear right here tonight. And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome back Warren Sapp.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Hope you're having a great birthday weekend, America. We celebrate it with you. Starting lineup for the Pepsi 400. Alongside Park is Richard Childress' teammate Kevin Harvick on the front row. Row number 2, Jeff Gordon and Sterling Marlin. Between them, 11 wins at the restrictor plate racetracks. There's the Dale Earnhardt Incorporated dominators, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Michael Waltrip in row 3. Could one of them continue the dominant streak tonight?
Kenny Fred on the inside of row 4, his best super speedway starting over a year, and Jamie McMurray finished 3rd last night, started 30th. In row 5 on the inside, Elliott Sadler finished 3rd at Talladega back in April, and Jeremy Mayfield, Talladega pole winner. Back in row 6, Jimmy Johnson, who led the most laps at Talladega, and Casey Mears on the outside.
Tony Stewart, Bill Elliott back in the 7th row. Stewart, the defending series champion. And while you look at the rest of the starting lineup, we told you it was an all Richard Childress racing front row. How about third member of that team, VP?
Robbie Gordon is starting back in the, there we go, in 18th position. Robbie Gordon, Benny Parsons up at NBC. You got me?
I do, Benny. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing okay. What's your biggest concern tonight, Robbie?
What I would check right here, Benny, is checking my brake bias, just making sure that I don't lock up the rear tires, getting in the pits. Probably one of the best places to pass all night long. We got a pretty good car. Everybody on the singular wires team has been working real hard. That victory, 2 weeks ago at Sonoma has helped build a lot of momentum for the second half of the season.
Robbie, don't forget you can't have too much front brake because you may slide those front tires and flat spot them making pit stops.
10-4. It's going to be real interesting tonight to see who takes 2 and who takes 4. Because with these less gas, pit stops don't take as long as they used to.
Is your car getting up in?
I think so. My 2 teammates up there, Steve Park, I want to congratulate him driving the AOL car. And again, Harvick, they're on the front row. We've got the same stuff they got. We just missed a little bit in qualifying, so hopefully we'll get up there to them soon.
Good luck to you.
Bye.
Stacy Compton, scratch on the field in the 4 car. Here are those who failed to qualify for the race. The top 2 of those, Petty Enterprises cars. Kyle Petty saying the engine department let him down this week. Kyle starting way back in the field in 42nd spot. They are just letting the 4 car, the Stacy Compton driven machine, go from the inspection area. So he'll rejoin the end of the field. It was scheduled to start last anyway, but a fuel cell problem in the tech line sent him back, and they just got it through in race-approved condition.
And there's a 55-mile-per-hour speed limit down pit road. My advice would be don't speed trying to get the field.
That counts now, too. All right, it'll take 160 laps to make up 400 miles tonight here on this 2.5-mile Daytona track. A whopping $5.2 million at stake.
You see that pit window? That is doggone important. 40 laps, divide 160 by 40. That's 4 times. If you can make it to 40, you save a pit stop.
Steve Park leading the field down. We told his story to you a moment ago. Pace car heads off. We're getting set to start the 45th Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Glad you're with us.
CBP, we got guys 3 abreast already.
They're already trying to go up the middle, split cars, and try their best to get to the front.
Remember the yellow line on the inside of the back straightaway. That's out of bounds, that yellow line all the way around the track.
These first laps might be the most dangerous, but believe me, they're the easiest to gain some positions.
3 deep.
And it's also probably the next couple laps the best time to be in the middle, because this is the best your tires are going to be right here. So you've got more grip than you will a little bit later, so you can run in the middle a little bit easier.
Harvick and Park single file. The race is for third. Jeff Gordon to the inside. Sterling Marlin to the outside. 24 and 40. On board, Kurt Busch. 26th place is where Kurt Busch runs in these opening laps.
Jeff Gordon on board as he looks back. The rear bumper of Gordon. Right behind him is Dale Earnhardt Jr. He'd like to keep him back there for the rest of the night. Good luck.
The bottom line last night in the Busch race, it seemed like a lot of guys would run low. That seems to be the fast way right now.
On board with Robbie Gordon just a moment ago, you could see just how close he was to that car directly in front of him.
And that's when it's easy to get frustrated, right where Robbie's at. He just went from the high line down to the center. You can't go anywhere. And that's when you get frustrated, is when you've got a good race car, but you've got no place to go.
And check out Kurt Busch, Benny. He started back in 31st place. Last time at the start-finish line, he was 17th. Made his way halfway through to the front.
Well, he obviously found a way to go.
But he did bring his teammate, Matt Kenseth. Kenseth was still back in the 20th position, 26th. Marty, 97 so far, pretty good.
Awesome so far, VP, and that's exactly what they hoped for. Jimmy Finning built a brand new race car for the Daytona race here in July. Didn't like what he had in Daytona in February, didn't like what he had at Talladega. So he built a brand new car for here. This is what they were hoping for, that the car would draft well. So far, so good.
Second place, Steve Park shuffled to the outside. Jeff Gordon is through, and here comes the train.
Oh, man, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. There's just no one to help Steve Park. Sterling Marlin is finally going to come up and give him some help on the outside, some drafting help. But after all, it's about 8th position.
Yep, it's a little too late. That inside line is really quick right now.
Park shuffled back to 10th from second in that half a lap. Robbie Gordon trying to work his way through. Matty's up to 13th.
And he was somewhere, Alan, coming down the front stretch, and owner Richard Childress told him not to go. He said, do not get caught up in the middle tonight. Be patient. Work the outside lane. That's what worked for Busch Series star Johnny Sauter in the RCR car last night, but Robbie got caught in the middle like he is right now.
Well, I don't know if he's caught or not, man. He's been making that middle work for him. He's made a lot of positions up in the center, so.
And there he dove to the inside. Maybe he was heeding the advice of his car owner, Richard Childress.
Yeah, he'll go high here and pick up a couple cars right now. He's got a lot of momentum.
Saw Mark Martin that Robbie Gordon moved out from behind. He's working with his Roush teammate Kurt Busch as they slice through traffic. But Matt Kenseth has not been able to stay right with him. Kenseth back in 21st. Busch and Martin in 13th and 15th. Now 13th and 14th as Mark's back under Robbie Gordon again. Bill, Steve Park sliding back.
Sliding back. We're probably pretty pleased at this point. Their goal, I talked to Steve this afternoon. He said, just get through the early laps. We talked about what happened at California. He said that thought never entered his mind. Car push it up the track a little bit, cannot get down to the inside. They want to try and get him down to the inside. So Park told me once he and Harvick got him through the first couple of laps, he, and he thought a lot of other people, might feel a lot better.
That was a close one there.
That was close.
That was close.
A collective intake of air where Benny, Wally, and Allen all jumping out of their seats at once.
Robbie had to try to get up in front of Jamie McMurray. Couldn't get it done. Had to get out on the throttle, and because of that, he's lost a lot of ground.
On board the Mike Bussey Army car. And where is he, Alan?
19th.
19th. Starting third. Robbie Gordon, he's back in the middle again.
Coming back.
Let's get behind his teammate, though. Yeah,
Robbie's got a good race car. If he can get somebody to work with him right now, I think he'll take it to the front.
And Steve Park is Richard Childress' teammate you're looking ahead at. A little bit of glare there off turn 4.
A little bit, but it used to be terrible about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but this is fine.
Ooh, pushing that yellow line.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. looking on the high side for second place around Jeff Gordon. Ken Schrader trying to go with Jr.
If he can pull this off, that's going to be impressive. Not going to pull it off. No, it doesn't look that way. Elliott Sadler in that 38 car just kind of pushed Jeff Gordon by Jr.
Nice run in the early laps for Elliott, started 9th.
And now Junior's hung on the outside as his drafting teammate or drafting mate, Kenny Schrader, dove to the inside.
Bobby Labonte passed him. Tony Stewart's up there. Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart working nose to tail.
And Junior's going to need Michael. He's looking for Michael in that mirror right now.
Michael's back in 10th spot. Ricky Craven trying to get up behind Junior.
182, 183 on Dale Jr., 184.
The car goes in the corner and the springs start collapsing. That's when you start picking up, you start losing some miles per hour.
But not much.
About 5 miles per hour, you're right, not much.
Orange car you're looking at, Ricky Craven. Finish.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just talking, you look at the brake now. I don't see that light coming on. Now, you won't use the brake because you have to use it to slow the car down. What you're going to do is when you get real tight in the pack, you may have to use that brake, you know, and so you'll see that brake light come on and off when you're tapping the brake if you're in a tight bunch right there.
Never backing off the throttle,
Just riding the brake a little bit.
Now there's Michael Waltrip getting alongside Dale Earnhardt Jr. See if Jr. can find a way to squeeze in line behind him.
he wants to, but is Sterling going to allow it?
Oh, that's tight.
Or maybe in front of him.
Here it comes. Now, the 31 will jump out and follow that 8 car.
We've seen some teammates working together already.
Yeah, here comes that 31 car. Here comes Robbie Gordon.
And himself.
Behind there. All right, so the two guys that have dominated Daytona over the last couple of years now hooked up nose to tail. We'll see if they can make any progress. Coming up on green flag pit stops shortly. Kevin Harvick, the race leader. Jimmy Johnson is second, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Michael Waltrip and Tony Stewart have really had kind of a little tussle going for 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
And Michael Waltrip is going inside, outside, and so is Junior. They never can get hooked up right. Wally, what were you talking about a while ago?
Just so you know, when I say, oh, we'll have it. And here it is. See, lock them tires up. What I was talking about earlier, too.
Nice catch.
Beginning of the show, yeah. But that cost a lot of time.
A one hopper to the front tire carrier. Good that we can laugh about it. Coming up to put a lap on the Stacy Compton car, the 4 machine, who's really been off the pace basically since the start of the race. You have a tech inspection problem, and you're thrashing around in the last minutes before the green just to get the car into the race. It's easy to perhaps have not everything be perfectly aligned like it should be.
Especially when you get caught doing something
With a peak self? Yeah, okay.
Take a little bit longer to get things done.
Yeah. What are we going to see? 2 tires, 4 tires? What do you think?
I think we're going to see 2.
My guess is 2.
On most of the leaders. All right, we'll see here in just a couple laps.
And BP was talking about earlier how this is real important right here. These pit stops are real important. It's important if they come in under the green, this thing stays green. You're going to see a lot of guys gaining and losing a lot of time getting to pit lane.
If you watch the NASCAR Busch Series last night, you saw cars running 50, 60 laps on fuel. Those cars had a 22 30-gallon fuel cell. The gas tanks in these cars tonight are about 13 gallons, give or take a half gallon. And so therefore, that's why these cars can only run about 35, 40 laps.
And the reason for that was to break up the big packs all the time.
Make the pit more often to try to break the pack set up.
Rusty Wallace really on the charge in the early laps. He started this race in 38th spot. Dave, he's in 8th place.
Well, and he's been a little bit tight off of turn number 2. They're going to make an air pressure and wedge adjustment when he comes in. But other than that, no complaints right now. Matt?
Dave, Kevin Harvick never said a word on the radio until lap 27 when he said his car was free. His team is talking about what adjustments to make on their stop. Now, that's the big question. When do they pit? They would like to pit on lap 38, maybe even stretch it to 39. The question, will they get any takers? They may have to back it up. May have to back it up to lap 37, Bill.
Jeff Gordon will be in next time. He'll pit next time. Jeremy Mayfield on pit road. 2 Hickside tires. He's on his way. Robbie Loomis told me this morning they'd be one of the first cars in. Expected to be in on lap 34. Marty. The DEI cars will pit on lap 37. Bill, Michael Waltrip says he's a little bit tight, but he wants to leave the chassis alone. Very happy with it. Very frustrated they cannot hook up together and get to the front.
Here comes another group of the leaders to pit road.
Here's what we're talking about, locking those tires up, coming to pit lane. That's going to cost these guys a lot.
A lot of them oil in the tires. Rusty Wallace is in. Jeff Gordon's in. Elliott Sadler, Ricky Craven. Bill?
Well, this is the big pack right here. Jeff Gordon on pit road. His car's been a little tight. No chassis adjustment. Just fuel to fill that small cell. They're going to take 4 tires on this stop. Marty. Kurt Busch speeds off pit road. Pretty happy with his race car. A little bit tight. Half a pound into the right rear, Bill. Trying to loosen him up, Dave.
Rusty Wallace now getting that wedge adjustment. 4 tires for him. Right in front of him, Ryan Newman pits as well. He also gets a chassis adjustment and 4 tires. Rusty will lead out. His teammate Ryan Newman will have to follow behind.
Boy, it's going to be interesting to see some of these guys like Johnny Vincent in the 10 car. He was really boiling the smoke off those tires getting to pit road. They only changed 2. We'll see if those left side tires are in decent enough shape to keep going. Jimmy Johnson's in. Kyle Petty, Jimmy Spencer, Todd Bodine. Dave?
Well, Jimmy Johnson had been radioed in by Chad Knaus. He's doing a great job. Just keep it going. The car was just a little bit tight for Jimmy, but he was still staying up there in the front. So they're going to make a 4-tire change, following suit with everybody else they were talking about too. But now that everyone else has taken 4, they're going to do the same. Crew coming around to the left side. Windshield is clean. He is out of here.
Todd Bodine coming down pit road, going off pit road with Jimmy Johnson. Obviously a 2-tire stop versus the 4. So, all right, here we come. The DEI cars of Waltrip and Junior coming in together.
Remember, we talked about them smoking those front tires when they came in last night's NASCAR Busch Series race. That was a pretty smooth stop, Marty.
And they warned Michael Waltrip about that. Take care of the tires. Do not flat spot them coming to pit road. This will be a 2-tire stop for the 15 team. A little bit tight. No adjustments, Bill. Chassis adjustment on the 8-2 right side tires. They warned Junior not to slide the tires. He's on his way.
And the 18 Jack Manor tire carrier had to jump out of the way. Matt.
VP, a 4-tire change on Sterling Marlin's Dodge. A little bit of trouble on the left front. The fuel cell's packed full. Tony Stewart's in. A slow stop for Stewart. The car has stalled. They're trying to get it refired. They're pushing the car down pit road. The car still has not fired. Tony Stewart finally pulls away as Kevin Harvick is on his way in with his teammate. The 29 is in. They wanted to try to pit with the 8 and 15. Harvick in. This should be a 2-tire change. Todd Verrier called for 2-tire change. You can hear him gunning the engine, packing the fuel cell full of fuel. To Bill.
Pole center Steve Park on pit road. Chassis adjustment. 4 tires. His car's been tight. He's got fuel. He's on his way to Burns.
Mark Martin trying to make up some time. He will take on only 2 tires and pack the fuel cell full.
The race lead belongs to Ward Burton for the moment. He has not yet stopped, so he's out front.
And Tony Stewart evidently ran out of fuel. They were putting gasoline in the carburetor. Davis, that one happened. He run out of fuel.
Benny, he ran out of fuel, making his way to pit road. That's why you saw them trying to fire the engine in his pit stall.
So Tony Stewart is now back in 41st place. Kevin Harvick is the leader, but look who's changed positions on the pit stops.
Junior and Michael Waltrip, second and third, the 2 tire stop. That's what they did all during the Daytona 500. That's why it was such a shock to me when those guys started pitting and changing 4 tires.
Yeah, that me too, BP. I was surprised about that. Obviously, Robbie took 4 tires because he's right up there behind Michael Waltrip right now. Matt Kenson.
Michael and Junior both took 2 tires. Junior's crew got him out ahead of Michael's.
Right.
Second place, chasing Kevin Harvick in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona.
48er with you. Here comes a big push. 48's on the inside of the 8. All by himself here. Still there. Back outside hard. 8's up top with him. 48's in your mirror. Clear behind him if you need it. Here comes a big push. 48, 31 on the bottom. Big push. Clear high. He's there. Clear all around. Nice job. Two in your mirror. 29 and 8 are on top. 48, 31 on the bottom.
Michael Waltrip just made a breathtaking move on Kevin Harvick, but Harvick didn't want to give it up easily.
He fought hard, but not much he could do about it because Michael had that run, and Jimmy Johnson came along with Michael to take over second. Junior back in fourth.
Watch this as they come from the start-finish line and head down towards turn number 1.
Michael gets a pretty good run on Kevin. He's got Dale behind him. Harvick moves up the track, and boy, Michael just cut right underneath that bumper, but he had the momentum. Now you watch here, Harvick tries to keep him pinned down a little bit, but it wasn't enough.
So Waltrip becoming just the 3rd different driver to lead this race tonight. Kevin Harvick has led 53 of the 56 laps so far. Michael Waltrip is out in front of the Pepsi 400 at Daytona.
Michael Waltrip going for his 3rd straight win at this track out front. We've been waiting since Homestead in November to do this, so it's time to take you through the field, and we'll start with the 15 car. And let's go down pit road and get that report from Marty Snyder. Michael Waltrip is glad to finally be out front. Billy struggled to get to the front and hasn't had his teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr. pushing him there all night long. We're not saying much about the car right now, pitting on lap 79, Dave.
Jimmy Johnson's crew gave him 4 tires and made an adjustment to fix a little bit tight condition when he was in last time. Now, even though he's running second, the car is skaty. We got a spin on the track with Dave Blaney.
Off turn 2. Looks to be a 1-car incident, and the caution flag is out for the first time in the race. Dave Blaney was running in 26th place at the time of his spin.
Underneath it the way he goes. Let's see if we can see what happened to Blaney as he came off turn 2.
Way up there high, you can see him way up high. Got a little help, it looks like.
Yes, he did. A little nudge in the left rear from...
Tell who that was. Roof flaps are up, though. That kept that car down on the ground.
And there's the pavement we were talking about. Dave trying to lift that car back around with flat tires and not do any further damage. Meantime, the pressure's all on the pit crews again. Michael Waltrip worked really hard to get the lead. Let's see if his team can hold the lead on this set of caution flag pit stops. Marty.
Alan, Michael Waltrip bringing his car down pit road here. Daytona 4,000 in second gear. That's a pit road speed to him. The car is in. It'll be a 4-tire stop this time. No changes, Matt.
The right side tires for Kevin Harvick on the first stop. A 4-tire change this time. No adjustments as the 29 car is very good, Dave.
4-tire change for Jimmy Johnson as well. He needs an air pressure adjustment in the right front and also in the right rear. Team going to work on the left side now to complete the process. Filling full of fuel. Bill?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. was on pit road. His car was tight. 1 round up on the track bar, 4 tires and fuel. Jeff Gordon also got a chassis adjustment. He said the car is just a little tight. We have to get some better track position. 4 tires, fuel, and a chassis adjustment for Jeff Gordon.
After the pit stops, Elliott Sadler got off pit road first. The championship leader, Matt Kenseth, he's way in the back of the pack.
Had a little bit of a problem as Kenseth comes down pit road, trying to make up all the time he could on pit road. The brakes did not. Get it stopped, get it stopped.
Pick him up, easy, pick him up.
Watch this, a camera on top of the roof.
And probably the front tires locked up, didn't they, BP?
Yeah,
Or
looks like it.
Yep.
And right through his pit he went. Kenseth had worked his way up to the top 5. He's now back in 28th position.
All right, you're all clear, all clear.
Just back under green in the Pepsi 400. Elliott Sadler, the leader, did in fact just get 2 tires on his stop. The people chasing him got 4. And here come Jimmy Johnson and Kevin Harvick.
And look at Harvick just drive to the outside, try to drive to the outside on Jimmy Johnson. Didn't quite work.
No help. No help, BP. He doesn't have anybody with him yet.
Sadler, Johnson, Harvick, top 3. Then Earnhardt Jr., Waltrip, Martin, Jeff Burton, Terry Labonte, Kurt Busch, and Kenny Wallace. Those the top 10. Running order really jumbled up by the different choices of tire strategy on this set of stops. Bill?
Well, on the Discover Card countdown to green, we talked about how popular Dale Jr. has become, not only to race fans, but to corporate America as well. Well, during that caution, he apparently didn't feel that way, making some moves out on the racetrack with Michael trying to get back to the front. But he said he felt like a one-man band, that he didn't have a friend within 100 miles. He's about to find some in a minute.
Jimmy Johnson to the lead. Earnhardt Jr. and Harvick race for second. Michael Waltrip right behind, which lane will he pick? He's trying to get behind Jr.
Yep, got it.
And here comes Mark Martin. You know, Mark very openly discusses that he just doesn't care for this kind of racing, the restrictor plate brand. But his record here shows that he has success. Last 3 finishes at Daytona, 6th, 5th, 5th.
And Mark's one of the smoothest guys on any kind of a racetrack. He's also one of those guys that you love to draft with because you know he's not going to ever do anything stupid. So if you just be patient and you put your front bumper on his rear bumper, he usually finds the front.
Junior to the outside of Harvick for second.
And Michael is
that
going
was
to go
close.
with him.
That was close.
Robbie Gordon and Mark Martin. And for the lead.
Junior has Johnson cleared, but is he going to stay out there and wait for Michael, or is he going to go down the inside?
I think he's going to be in the middle.
I think he's going to, yeah, he's going to take the middle.
He's trying to wait. Harvick's going to get in behind Michael. Jimmy, got bad news for you.
See ya.
Robbie Gordon, Kurt Busch.
Uh-oh.
Watch that yellow line.
That was close. That was real close.
Yikes.
Johnson goes up the racetrack right almost into Mark Martin. And here's Harvick trying to go on the outside of Michael.
Oh, whoa, who's that shot out of traffic? Down below the line, Steve Park and Jimmy Johnson. Kurt Busch was given a warning about going down below the line. Wondered if they confused his car for Steve Park. They kind of look alike this weekend.
I think that was from back there.
That was on the backstretch.
Yeah.
second.
I tell you, that 29 Goodrich car is a very good race car because he almost took over second spot by himself.
Yeah, I agree, BP. That there again, I think if 31 ever gets with Kevin, those guys will be, and there you go. Robbie is now behind the 29 car. So we'll see if those guys stick together and make it work.
All right, let's go back and look at some of this wildness a moment ago off turn 4.
Robbie went up the racetrack.
Oh, my goodness. Did you see? Oh, my goodness. 3 or 4 cars completely sideways.
Trouble off turn 2. Is this the big wreck?
There it is.
Robbie Gordon, Steve Park.
See Ricky Craven.
Is that Kurt Busch?
Kurt Busch sitting sideways across the track through the smoke. Tell you what, could have been a lot more cars involved. And the field comes back to the caution flag. The race for a second time.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. Uh-oh, we got somebody spinning down there.
Steve,
Right in front of Robbie. Is that Steve? No.
That's Kurt
Busch. And look at that. I mean, these guys can't even see where they're going.
Oh, that's a hard shot.
Guys got caught up in that deal, and a lot of it just, there's nowhere to go.
Look at Terry Labonte come through, right through the smoke.
Biffle goes between 2 cars. Poor Steve Park. Car just spin up directly in front of him.
What is that?
There you go. Could have been a lot worse. Could have been 20 of them in that smoking heap. Just the same. Dale Earnhardt Jr. did not pit. He and Michael Waltrip are the top 2 in the Pepsi 400. That's why we're under caution. We'll be right back.
Jamie McMurray, his new Haviland 42 car, and this, the 9,000 RPM, 800 horsepower
V8 monster. It creates more torque than you can even imagine. So what brand of oil does Jamie trust to protect his engine? Haviland, of course, because Haviland can handle this much power.
even if your TV can't. Add more life to your car with Haviland.
Sorry. At 18, slicing and dicing right now.
Man, he just blew right by Mark Martin.
And let's check out the first pack. There's shuffling going on. Earnhardt Jr. hanging on to the top spot, but behind him, well, here they come to pit road. Leaders coming in.
And Junior smoking those tires.
Jimmy Johnson beat him to pit lane.
Michael Waltrip, Brian Newman, Tony Stewart, Elliott Sadler, all pitting. Marty.
I just asked Slugger Labby, why are you coming in 2 laps early? He said our strategy is not working out. Our fuel mileage advantage is not going to pay off tonight, Bill. Junior couldn't believe he had to come in right now, but that was the opening of the window. They got to lap 104. Dave.
SpongeBob is in with Jimmy Johnson. 4 tires for him. No changes to the car this time. A little slow on the left rear, and now he's out of here.
Oh, man.
He may lose the captain partner on that deal, although he's got Ryan right there.
Ryan and Jimmy got 4 tires. The other guys, the other 4 in front of them, got 2.
Sounds like Matt's coming in. Trying to get the 99, it sounded like, to lead a lap. He's got to get by Bobby first.
Bobby's one of his rivals for the championship. Bobby is 4th in the standings coming in. Whereas Jeff Burton is 16th. Might not be worth giving Jeff 5 points if Bobby gets him. All right, here are the guys who stopped already, the previous leaders. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Kevin Harvick and Michael Waltrip have got back together in the draft. And you see how far they are behind Matt Kenseth after the pit stops.
Almost a lap.
And Kenseth peeling off from turn 4 and heading for pit road. 44 to go.
Man, I don't know.
They're going to try. think, Marty?
Well, Wally Robbie Reiser told me that earlier today that a win or a top 10 tonight would be just like a win for these guys. It's going to be 2 tires and no change for Matt Kenneth. They're very happy with the car, Bill. It's 2 right side tires for Ward Burton as well. Waiting on fuel. The 17 goes. The 22 follows them. The plan was to pit together.
What do you think, BP? Do you go? You're in it. Championship.
No, you can't gamble. You cannot gamble running out of fuel. Too many cars will end up getting by you. But Jeff Burton now is the guy that might gamble and try to make it.
We're getting 28 cars on the lead lap.
Right, here comes Burton.
You run out of fuel here at Daytona, you may not coast all the way back around, and if you do, you're going to lose a lot.
But if you got to stop, how many are you going to lose anyway? Depending on how many these other guys got to stop.
Well, there's a bunch of them right now, right? Junior and Michael Waltrip and Kevin Harvick, all those guys are going to have to stop.
Nice straight wheel, foot on the brake, close to the wall here. He looks good. I'm going to ease the jack down on the right side. I'm going to ease the jack down on the
This was about a lap and a half, maybe a lap earlier than they wanted to come. They wanted to make sure they didn't stall the car, run out of fuel, and have to refire it. But they said they're going to go for it, so we'll see. Packing it and holding it, getting all the fuel in there they can. And now he leaves 2 right side tires as well.
Bobby Labonte's now the leader after Jeff Burton's pit stop.
But you're right, Benny. You know they're going to go for it.
Yeah, they got to go for it.
And they've got nothing to lose at all.
But Bobby Labonte is still out there, and he had to be another car that stopped on lap 75.
That's right.
And he's still out there.
Let me go check my notes.
Uh-oh. Alan's doing math.
No, I'm not doing math. I just want to check when he stopped.
Check lap 75.
That's what I'm looking at. I don't see the number. For the 18 here. No, you know what? He stopped on the 1 to go at the end of that caution and dropped off at 77.
Lap 77, you're right.
My handwriting's not the best.
He can do it. He can do it. Here he comes.
Bobby Labonte pitting. 41 laps to go when he crosses the start-finish line.
And he just ran 41 laps, so he can make it the rest of the way.
Here he comes, Bill.
You bet they can make it. And they've got great coaching going on from the top of that pit box with Michael McSwain. Bobby Labonte on pit road looking for a win here at Daytona. Around to the right side. They put on the 2 right side tires, and that's going to be it. They're going to pack it full of fuel. They get the nod from the gas man, and Bobby Labonte is on his way.
Here comes his brother right behind him.
And Greg Biffle, another car that can probably make it the rest of the way.
And the 4th car coming off pit road there is Ricky Rudd in the Wood Brothers car. He's probably good to the finish. So if those 4 cars can hook up, do a little work together.
I think Ricky is a little bit too far behind right now to hook up with the 3 guys that just left in front of him.
He better check his mirror. Here come the leaders.
In a hurry.
So Junior has gone back to the lead now after all these cars have made their pit stop. But he's got to stop again.
Right. Yep. It's the Pepsi 400 being led by Dale Earnhardt Jr. And we're about to hit the 350-mile mark of the race. Little challenge for 3rd spot here. On the move on the outside comes Jimmy Johnson. And Greg Biffle with a big wiggle off turn 2.
And Biffle's caught in the middle. He's trying to block these guys, but guess what? Couldn't do it. They just go by him on both sides.
And really, don't you think BP would be better for Biffle to get out of this cactus? When they start peeling off, he doesn't want to be in the middle of it.
Remember, Greg Biffle has fuel. Oh, here they come. Michael Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt Jr. coming to pit road with 21 laps to go. Waltrip passing Jr. as they come to the speeding line for pit road speed.
But Waltrip is going to pit first, so he has to slow down for his pit stall, and Earnhardt Jr. continues on. Here comes Brian Newman, several cars. Marty.
Michael Waltrip very happy with the car, very upset about the fuel strategy. However, they're going to do the best they can. There'll be no changes again. 2 tires stalls it a little bit, Bill. 2 right side tires, a chassis adjustment, and fuel for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He may not be racing for the win now, but if you're an Earnhardt fan, he could be racing for the championship.
And Dale Jr. beat him out again.
Yes, he did.
His 3rd time tonight. So how do they play out against the guys who have not stopped?
Well, Biffle is going to be out there the lone dog, I think. When all these guys start peeling off, he is in a good position. He's second on the racetrack.
Here comes Harvick.
The guy racing are going to be in the draft, and they may catch and pass them.
Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Kenny Wallace, Todd Bodine all bidding here. Patty.
And Kevin Harvick coming in, they're going to make a two-tire change. Harvick says the car had gone to the loose side. They're going to back up on the adjustments they made in the last stop. As soon as the tires are on, they're going to drop the jack, and he's gone, Bill.
And Jeff Gordon heading down pit road after making his stop, 2 right side tires and fuel.
Jimmy Johnson was in and off pit road, 2 tires to the right side, a chassis adjustment just a little tight. He might win. He's got a fast car in his 4th start here at Daytona.
So Greg Biffle is now the leader of the Pepsi 400. Matt Kenseth runs second. We believe Biffle has the fuel to go to the distance. What about Kenseth, the second place car? Artie?
And Robbie Reiser's on the radio with Matt Kenseth just now. Matt asks, are you sure we cannot go all the way? I want to beat those guys. Robbie, will leading the points cost you a chance to win this race?
Well, I think so, because we could have maybe gambled a lap or 2 here, and we could have made it to the end. But with the point battle, we just couldn't take that chance. If I run them out of gas, we'd lose a lot more. So this was the way we had to go. It's a safe route.
When will you have to pit?
What about 3 to go?
Wow, 3 to go. They'll top off. He'll come down pit road. Now remember, Robbie Reiser told me earlier this morning he feels like restrictor plate racing is by far the weakest part of their program. A top 10 tonight is as good as a win.
What a break for Greg Biffle, that his teammate can stay out there until 3 laps to go.
And we talked about this in the preview show, is these guys now are going to start thinking about this point championship. It's halfway through the season, and instead of gambling for the win, they're thinking points.
Question is, will he get a top 10 finish out of it even after he stops with a splash of fuel late in the race? All right, let's go back up front. Greg Biffle, we believe, good to go to the finish on fuel.
Well, he's got to run 41 laps, and I believe that he ran 41 laps the last time. Randy Goss has got to be beside himself, the crew chief for Greg Biffle. Jimmy Spencer peels off. He's coming to pit road.
Now, here's what we talked about. We got 4 cars in the draft, and Bobby Labonte by himself.
Yeah, can Biffle pull away from Labonte? Can these guys help him do that?
Right. And that's what we talked about, being scattered out. That draft, those 4 cars are running a lot quicker than Bobby by himself right now.
This could be big, Wally. Could be real big.
Elliott Sadler there in the 38 just in front of Biffle. He's already made that splash and dash pit stop at 1:39.
And that's going to help him even more. That's what Biffle wants. That's perfect.
That's exactly what he needed. Somebody that could go the rest of the way to get in front of him and tow him along.
These guys get side by side here. Bobby Labonte may make a move right now.
Trying to squeeze his way back up in the draft. Kenseth jumps in behind him.
Bobby may just pull it off right here.
Here comes Bobby. And also, Labonte has his teammate in front of Greg Biffle now. I don't know how that's going to play out.
Bobby Labonte around Matt Kenseth. Now right in behind Greg Biffle for the race lead. 5 laps to go at Daytona.
Now we'll see some air driving.
Bobby Labonte, the 2000 NASCAR Winston Cup champion, driving for Coach Joe Gibbs, has had tremendous struggles in these races at Daytona and Talladega this year.
Here comes Matt.
Kenseth is waving to the car behind him. He's got to go make up Elliott Sadler. What's Randy Goss and those guys saying?
Something just flew off the 31 car, Benny, coming down the front straightaway. They also told the 16 of Biffle that the 17 is peeled off, so Bobby Labonte won't have any help. You're going to have to go it alone. Keep your eyes on that mirror.
We remain under green.
You're right.
NASCAR spotters around the racetrack, not calling in any debris. And the race stays at full speed as the championship leader pits. Bobby Labonte looking outside. No help.
No help. That's the problem Bobby's got right now. He doesn't have anybody to help push him by Biffle.
Elliott Sadler has dropped off that lead group. What about Tony Stewart? He is Bobby Labonte's teammate, the first car in that line.
Well, if maybe Tony moved up the racetrack, He might be able to help Bobby, but the problem is if he does that, he'll lose the position of Ryan Newman.
How about experience versus inexperience here? Bobby's been in so many of these races. Greg is not. Can Bobby force him into a mistake?
Got to be worth something, that experience. That time he moved high up in 3 and 4. Biffle, again, mirror driving, moved up to block that move.
Less than 3 laps to go.
Whatever
Biffle slides up a little bit.
Whatever Biffle does, Bobby will do the opposite. And I think you're right. He could force him into, you know, if he makes him run down low, then he'll try to shoot up on the outside and get beside him. If he does that, then I think Tony will move up the racetrack or down the racetrack to help the 18-car draft by.
But we're not going to see anything like Tony Stewart sliding up front and back behind Bobby and trying to push him around in this last lap or 2.
Should have done it by now if he was going to do it.
Coming down. Just a couple to go.
But I think Tony will start moving around the racetrack a little bit.
Greg Biffle came up the ladder the NASCAR way. Started racing at the local NASCAR sanctioned tracks. Went to the regional touring series in the Northwest and Southwest. Then became the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion after hooking up with Jack Roush. On to the NASCAR Busch Series champion there 1 year ago.
And if the caution flag should come out now, the race is over. They will not red flag this race with less than 5 laps to go.
Matt, what about Biffle?
The guy calling the race from the spotter stand for Greg Biffle is Joel Edmonds, who last night was calling the race for Michael Waltrip. They came home second. He's telling him, keep it on the bottom. The 18 will try you high, but just keep it on the bottom. He has no help.
Ward Burton is on pit road out of gas. White flag is in the air. Final lap. Are we seeing a rookie breakthrough at the biggest track of all? Or can Bobby Labonte get a run and Labonte slow down? Is Labonte out of gas?
He's out of fuel.
Bobby Labonte's come up dry.
It's definitely out of fuel.
Now Biffle can try and breathe it and make sure he has enough because it's a long way back to Jeff Burton. 3 seconds. What an upset this is going to be. Final corner for Greg Biffle. There'll be a celebration in the Pacific Northwest tonight. There's his girlfriend Nicole. For Jack Roush, Greg Biffle is going to score a win at Daytona in just his 23rd NASCAR Winston Cup start. Greg Biffle wins the Pepsi 400.
And Roush comes 1-2, and Ricky Rudd comes in third. Another car close with close Jack Roush ties. All right, guys, congratulations to you.
Awesome job, guys. Way to go.
Randy Goss, the crew chief's voice there.
The voice of reason.
Call him Radar. Looks a little bit like the actor that played the Radar character in the old MASH series. How about Greg Biffle? First time winner this season. Just his 23rd Winston Cup start. He's a winner at Daytona. Huge.
Well, he's been to victory lane a number of times before, but this is his first in the Winston Cup Series, and it comes at Daytona, the sport's most famous track.
Wish they'd show some emotion, huh?
Congratulations.
Thanks. I tell you what, I can't say enough about Matt Kenseth. You know, that guy, there isn't words to explain how he made me win this race tonight. I mean, he backed off the 18 there, and if he had stayed up with him, he'd have pushed him by, and then they were going to go by us on the back stretch, and Matt pulled down and sacrificed a spot for a win for me. And I tell you, these Granger guys have worked so hard. Everybody, can't say enough about Roush Racing and Ford. This Ford Taurus, really loose, but really fast.
Matt Kenseth's lead actually growing from 174 points to 180, with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Gordon swapping second and third positions.